Holy 5K? Hello citizens! Zani is finally here with her fun counter mechanics, dynamic playstyle, and sick animations. However, her team options are very limited, as you will see. In this video, I will go over Zani's gameplay and mechanics, rotations and build, along with my polling recommendations. This video uses footage from the media server, but if there are any changes on release, I will pin a comment. First, here's a quick overview of what Zani brings to the team. Zani is a Spectral Frazzle DPS who excels in both single target and AoE environments. Her best team is on par with the current top teams, and she has a relatively high skill ceiling. However, she is highly dependent on teammates for Spectral Frazzle application, which means she will need either Phoebe or Spectral Rover. Here's how Zani works. Zani's main game plan involves filling up her bottom forte gauge, charging up her top forte gauge to use her enhanced skill, and then entering Inferno Mode via her liberation to deal big damage. Zani has two modes, Normal Mode and Overtime or Inferno Mode. In Normal Mode, Zani has a 4-hit basic attack combo. If you pause slightly after the third hit, Zani takes a brief, relaxed pose in her chair. Pressing normal attack again within 6 seconds, or before this icon disappears, lets you execute a special breakthrough attack before her 4th basic. This isn't an important attack, but it's a fun flourish. Zani's skill enters her into a blocking stance, and she will automatically parry if enemies hit her right after. This parry completely negates the incoming damage, briefly stagnates the target, and reduces their toughness. After using her skill, you can directly transition into basic attack 3. One really nice thing about her skill though is that you can use it anytime, even in the middle of other attacks, to cancel their animation and then put her into blocking stance. All of Zani's attacks in normal mode fill up her top forte gauge. When this forte gauge is full, it unlocks her enhanced skill. This enhanced skill can also parry at the start, and it can be tapped or held. Holding it slightly extends the parry window at the start of the animation, while tapping it executes the attack quicker. One enhanced skill grants Zani 10 Blaze, which charges 1/10 of her bottom forte gauge. So how do we charge the rest? This is where Zani's special mechanic comes into play. Zani's special mechanic converts any Spectral Frazzle stacks applied by teammates into her own Ember stacks. This conversion happens automatically, and each stack of Frazzle converted grants Zani 5 Blaze and fills up the bottom forte gauge. You need 100 Blaze to fill the entire gauge. Since Zani's enhanced skill only gives 10 Blaze, it means her teammates need to apply at least 18 stacks of Frazzle to max it out, though she is playable even if it's not fully charged. Zani's liberation enters her into Inferno Mode for 20 seconds. It also increases her maximum Blaze cap to 150, but it instantly gives her 50 Blaze. Not only does she look really sick during this mode, Zani unlocks 3 new sword attacks, which she can combo together. However, all of her new attacks consume Blaze, which is why filling the bottom gauge is crucial to being able to execute more combos during this time. Here are her 3 new attacks. All of these count as casting basic attacks, but damage-wise, they're considered heavy attacks. Heavy Slash 1 is a single downward slash, triggered when you press normal attack. It consumes 10 Blaze, and if you press normal attack again after, Zani will go into Heavy Slash 2, which is 2 wide slashes. She can also enter Heavy Slash 2 after holding down skill during Inferno Mode and proccing a parry, or after dodging in Inferno Mode. This attack consumes 20 Blaze. After executing Heavy Slash 2, you can continue pressing normal attack to execute her Heavy Slash 3, called Nightfall. This is a powerful 4-slash combo that deals more damage based on the amount of Blaze consumed, dealing up to 2x of its damage at 40 Blaze. Here are Zani's primary combos. We have the full combo, which is just Heavy Slash 1 into Heavy Slash 2 into Nightfall. Then we have the parry combo, which is hold E that procs a counterattack, and directly goes into heavy/2, after which you can follow through with Nightfall. Lastly, there is the charged E combo, which is hold E that doesn't proc a counterattack, and after which it will directly execute heavy/3 or Nightfall. Here are some images to illustrate the different combos. Because you start Inferno mode with potentially up to 150 blaze, and these combos all have different blaze costs, you can string together different combos to use up the 150 blaze. To my surprise, after lots of testing, I found that the straight up Unga Bunga full combo X2 can actually lead to the fastest clear times due to its speed and ease of execution. The main exception is if a more optimized, slightly slower rotation allows you to defeat a boss one whole rotation earlier. If there is interest, I was thinking of doing a follow-up video delving into the specifics of Zani's different combos during her Inferno mode. Zani has a second liberation that becomes available 8 seconds after entering Inferno mode, or when her blaze drops below 30. You should always wait to use this until after you've spent your blaze, as activating it immediately exits her out of Inferno mode. While Zani's second liberation lacks the cinematic flair of Carlotta's second liberation, it does deal a considerable amount of damage. In terms of her team comps, Zani's current best-in-slot team is Zani, Phoebe, and Rover Shorekeeper Overina. Phoebe is very good for Zani because Confession Mode Phoebe can apply 19 stacks of Frazzle every rotation. This perfectly fulfills Zani's Frazzle needs. Phoebe's outro also gives 10% spectral res down and a massive 100% spectral damage amplification. This amp is insane for Zani since roughly 80% of her damage is considered Frazzle damage. Rover, on the other hand, can only apply 14 Frazzle stacks within the same time frame, which only gets you to 70 blaze max. Buff-wise, Rover also just has the 10% spectral res down. The benefit of Rover, however, is that you can quick swap her in to apply Frazzle during Zani's Inferno mode, and Rover will deal more damage than Confession Phoebe. However, you don't have to just choose between Phoebe and Rover, you can also play the three of them together. I tried out the team and it's been quite fun swapping in Rover along with Phoebe. For those who are interested, you can check out my other video for the performance breakdown between Phoebe and Zani teams in TOA. Here's a sample rotation for Zani featuring Phoebe and Verena or Shorekeeper. In Tower, you can start with Zani's skill into basic 3 to farm the first half of her top forte gauge. You can swap her off as soon as you press the basic. Then you can continue to do your normal rotations on your other characters while Zani sits back and relaxes. Phoebe's Confession rotation here is pretty much the same as her Absolution rotation, except you only get to use 2 heavy attacks. After you finish your rotations on the other characters and intro into Zani, you can first press basic to proc her signature and then cancel directly with her enhanced resonance skill. You do want to wait until this last hit comes down before using Liberation, since this last hit gives you an extra 20% spectral Frazzle amp. After her last hit, you can cast her Echo skill, then her Liberation, and start chopping away in Inferno mode. You can just press normal attack to execute her full combo Heavy/1 into Heavy/2 into Nightfall for the easy and straightforward rotation. Nightfall is the 4 slashes starting here, and these actually take a while, so you can swap Zani off during this part and swap her back after she does her jump attack, which signals the last hit of her Heavy/3. After 2 full combos, you can then directly use her second Liberation, and then use her normal skill plus basic 3 to pre-charge her top forte gauge for the next rotation before outroing on Zani. Usually in Tower, Zani will need 2 full rotations to kill the boss, and the Unga Bunga full combo strat ensures that you quickly rotate and are able to dish out the damage faster. Here's a sample rotation for Zani featuring Rover and some quick swaps. This rotation actually has Zani doing her optimal Liberation combo, since you really need to squeeze in any extra damage you can. you can check out my other video for the full rotation in action. For Zani's weapon, her signature is very strong, but Tragic Comedy comes pretty close. Because Zani's Inferno Mode attacks count as casting basic attacks while dealing heavy attack damage, she benefits perfectly from Tragic Comedy's passive. If you don't have any 5-star gauntlets, your next best alternative will be the standard 5-star gauntlet, which is usable but quite a bit worse. For those looking to invest further into Zani, her S1 and S2 will offer the best value, and I personally think S2 is a good stopping point, unless you want to go for Zani's powerful S6. Almost all of her sequences, apart from her S6, are just damage increases. For Zani's echoes, Internal Radiance is definitely her best set. It gives 20% extra crit rate and spectral damage bonus. Keep in mind, Zani's Ember stacks also count as Spectral Frazzle for the sake of this set, so she can actually benefit from the full 5-piece effect, even though she herself doesn't inflict any Spectral Frazzle. For her main slot echo, Zani's best in slot is the new 3-cost Captaneous Echo, which gives an extra 12% heavy attack damage bonus. However, it's only around 2 to 3% better than Ike's, so you can use either based on the substats. For her 3-cost echoes, double damage bonus is slightly preferred, but replacing with 1 attack percent works as well, especially if you're using Tragic Comedy or if you have her S1, both of which gives extra bonus damage. For her skill priorities, you want to first level her Forte Circuit, followed by Liberation and then Skill. Basic and Intro will be lowest priority. In terms of polling recommendations, if you've been saving for Zani since 2.0, definitely go for her. She is fun to play and waifus over meta, right? Just know that while Zani can be played with only Rover, having Phoebe will increase her damage by quite a bit. So unless you're out of pulls, I highly recommend pulling Phoebe to pair with Zani if you don't have her already. You can check out my other video here for a performance comparison of Phoebe versus Rover as a Zani support. For those interested in investing more into the Phoebe plus Zani team, here is my recommended investment priority. For those on the fence about Zani, I recommend skipping Zani and saving for Cartadia, and potentially considering Shakona as well. For those who have Phoebe, while the Zani team has a higher ceiling, it's only slightly better than the current Phoebe x Rover team, so your decision to pull will mostly come down to how much you like Zani's playstyle and A aesthetics. It's also possible Spectral Rover will need to become an Arrow Rover in the future to support Cartadia, but you can always pull Zani on her rerun if you end up losing Spectral Rover later. I think that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and let me know in the comments what you think of Zani and if you have any questions. I will be live on Twitch for the Wuthering Waves 2.3 release, so you can come hang out for drops and other Astrite giveaways. See you on stream or in my next video.